Al Roker and Deborah Roberts have long been seen as one of America's most beloved and enduring couples. He's the warm, ever-smiling face of the Today Show, a man whose laughter has brightened morning television for decades. And she's the intelligent, deeply respected journalist from ABC News, admired for her grace, compassion, and unwavering professionalism. Together, they've stood as symbols of balance, a partnership rooted in love, respect, and resilience. But even the strongest partnerships can face storms. And over the past few years, Al and Deborah's journey has quietly unfolded into one of the most heartfelt and emotional stories in television history. A story not of scandal, but of strength, faith, and unwavering devotion. It all began when Al's health began to take a troubling turn. For years, he had been open about his battles, from his struggles with weight to his diagnosis with prostate cancer in 2020. But what many people didn't know was just how close he came to losing everything. In late 2022, Al was rushed to the hospital with serious complications caused by blood clots in his leg and lungs. It was an emergency that shook the entire Today Show family to its core. Viewers noticed his sudden absence. His colleagues, Savannah Guthrie, Hoda Kotb, Craig Melvin, all grew emotional as they shared updates on air. But behind the cameras, Deborah Roberts was living every wife's worst nightmare. According to those close to the couple, Deborah barely left his side. She slept in hospital chairs, managed updates for their children, and coordinated with doctors through nights that felt endless. Friends later said, Deborah never once broke down in front of Al. She wanted him to see strength, even when she was terrified. When Al finally returned home after multiple hospital stays, the joy was overwhelming. Viewers around the world watched as the Today crew welcomed him back with open arms, many holding back tears as he walked through the studio doors. But what cameras didn't capture was the quiet recovery that followed. The slow mornings, the endless doctor's visits, and the emotional toll that comes with facing one's own mortality. For Deborah, it was a reminder of how fragile life truly is. In a later interview, she revealed, "When you watch the person you love fighting for their life, everything else fades away. You start to measure time not in days, but in blessings." Those close to them said the experience transformed their marriage. They began prioritizing things differently. More quiet nights, fewer public appearances, and a renewed focus on family. Yet as Al's health improved, whispers began circulating online, fans wondering if Deborah had stepped back from her own career, if she was struggling under the weight of caregiving. Some even speculated that the couple was drifting apart under the pressure. But nothing could have been further from the truth. In early 2024, Al addressed the rumors in his signature candid way during a heartfelt segment on Today. He said, people love to write stories when you disappear for a while. But the real story? It's love. It's about the person who stands by you when you can't stand on your own." Deborah, seated beside him, smiled gently and added, "We've had hard days, but love isn't about perfection, it's about partnership." The moment struck a chord with millions of viewers. For many, it was a reminder that even the most admired couples face battles the public never sees, not from betrayal or fame, but from life itself. Behind the spotlight, they were two people learning to navigate aging, illness, and renewal together. Still, those years of stress left their mark. Friends say Al had moments of deep reflection, realizing how easily his career had once taken precedence over everything else. In an interview with People magazine, he admitted, "I used to think being the first one in the studio and the last one out meant I was doing my job. But Deborah reminded me, my real job is to live long enough to enjoy what we've built." That realization sparked change. Al began focusing more on family, sharing Sunday dinners, spending time with their children, and savoring the little things that once got lost in the rush of television life. For Deborah, it was equally transformative. After years of balancing motherhood, journalism, and caregiving, she began speaking openly about the emotional strain many spouses of patients face. In one poignant post, she wrote, "You learn that love isn't always glamorous. Sometimes it's holding a hand through fear or finding laughter after tears. But just as life seemed to be settling, Al faced yet another health setback in late 2024, another hospitalization that brought back painful memories. This time, however, Deborah was prepared. She knew the signs, she knew the strength it required, and she knew that love, once tested, only grows stronger. Sources close to the family say the experience reaffirmed their faith and commitment. They pray together every morning, one friend shared. They don't take a single day for granted anymore. When Al returned home again, he shared a simple message with viewers. "I don't know how many more storms life will throw my way, but I do know this: I have the best umbrella I could ever ask for. Her name is Deborah." In a world filled with celebrity drama, betrayal, and spectacle, Al and Deborah's story stands out for what it truly is: a story about love's quiet power. It's not about glamour or red carpets. It's about late-night hospital lights, whispered prayers, and the kind of love that doesn't fade when the cameras stop rolling. They've shown that real love isn't defined by perfect moments. It's defined by survival, by forgiveness, and by the shared promise to keep going no matter what. And while many see Al Roker as the man who brings sunshine to our mornings, those who know him best understand that Deborah Roberts is his anchor, the steady presence that keeps him grounded, grateful, and alive. So what do you think of Al and Deborah's incredible journey? Have you or someone you know faced similar battles in love and health and found strength through it all? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this heartfelt story and want to stay inspired by more real-life journeys of courage, love, and perseverance, make sure to subscribe, like, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Because sometimes the most powerful love stories aren't written in Hollywood. They're lived quietly in hospital rooms, morning news studios, and in the hearts of two people who refuse to give up on each other.